Hey there! So today I'm going to be talking about the new patch that just hit the Korean server of Brown-Dust. It's a really huge patch, it's very interesting, there's a lot of new things going on, the meta is going to shift very hard, and it's quite worrying at the same time, but it's definitely exciting. So we are getting like 10 new units from a new unit type. I'm going to be talking about that, but first, what I mentioned that, as you can see over here, the UI kind of changed, because there was like a lot going on already. There were so many of these icons, and then they're adding more now, so they kind of like cluster them a little bit, put them into different categories so it's easier to navigate, so that's pretty cool. But other than that, the new units are kind of interesting because they are part of the new unit type. So of course we have over here like attackers, defenders, magicians and supports. We're not getting like a fifth type per se, but it's a different tab over here. As you can see, we have these new units. They're very similar to Sogear, right? Sogear, you get the pieces, you equip them to your units. It's very similar. So you get the helper unit and then you can equip it to one of your other units. So how does that actually work, right? Let's look over here. Okay, over here is where it shows the ones that you have. I don't have any, but you can check them over here. So you can navigate, check them all out. But this is the way you can acquire them for free. I'm gonna explain that later, but you pretty much get them. And some of these 10 units have support for these helper units. So for example, Cecilia is one of the units that is getting kind of a buff with this patch. So she not only gets a regular buff, she's way stronger now, but now she can like acquire this unit over here, which is her helper unit, as you can see. And as you equip this helper unit into Cecilia, she gains skill ups. So you can go past plus 10 now, right? You can go to 11, 12, up to plus 15. So that's quite huge actually. Up to plus 15 is like completely crazy for the meta. And okay, so I'm gonna first explain how you acquire those units, right? So first of all, you can check this menu over here. And as you can see, there's like a heart with 0%. It's kind of that dating sim mechanic, I don't know. But pretty much you get like, for example, she needs meat and then she needs like flowers, and you can get those from the events. I'm not sure exactly how you can get those after the event is gone, but anyways, you can get them for free, and then you feed them the item, and when they get to 100% you can get a free copy. But of course you can also pay for those. So you're kind of getting a new system for pooling those units, which is kind of a custom banner that you can make yourself. Let me show it real quick. So we don't have like actual banners anymore. What happens is that you have this one custom banner that you can click, and then you can select the rate up units. It's very interesting. So for example, let's say I want to get Christina for some reason, so I can select Christina and a 4-star, I don't know, Octavia. That I can just click the button, and now those are the rate up units. Then you can change the same for the helper units. So what's happening right now is that you can get like a 5-star, regular 5-star rate up unit, a regular 4-star, then a helper 5-star and a helper 4-star unit, which is interesting but kind of bad at the same time, because it kind of lowers the rates for the regular 5-stars. But in general, I think this is kind of a good change, because since you can select the unit you're getting, that's pretty good. So I'm not too worried about this change. I think it's kind of cool, and I'm probably going to be pulling all banners more than I used to. So in general, I kind of like the changes. But yeah, that's the second way you can acquire them. And it's also worth noting that those units have like stories and combat sprites. So what happens is after you get the copy of the helper and equip it to the original unit, I don't know exactly what's the condition, maybe you need multiple copies, I'm not sure, but you can actually equip the different skin for the helper unit itself. So you can have this in combat, which is pretty cool. And so they have like a story that ties into the original character, though I don't know anything about this game's lore or story, so I can't really talk about that. And it's all in Korean, so I have no idea. But about that, they are like full-fledged units. It's pretty cool. I'm also not going to be talking about like every single unit, every single skill that they're getting. You can check that yourself. I'm going to be linking the Discord server. You can check in Korea server news. We have like a rough translation that one of the Korean players did, which Flatris, which is really cool. So I'm going to be showing you all the helper units and their combat sprites. So Barbara's helper unit looks like this, and then like Cecilia, Michaela, you can pause to check them out, right? Astrid, Elise, Serendia, Rene, Esther, and Riddell. So they look really cool. As I mentioned, they have sprites, they are full-fledged units, which is very nice. And you can check like in the current high ranks in Korea, some people already have those units, of course, so you can check them like in game, which is pretty cool. So let me see if I can find someone real quick, like rank 1 for example. Fuck. Rank 2 over here, Michaela. He's plus 15, has the new sprite, very interesting. As you can see, there's like a marker over here to show how upgraded the helper unit is, because of course you get one copy, it goes to plus 11, you get your second copy, it goes to plus 12, and you get your plus 15, it's the 5th copy, right? So that only makes sense, I guess. Of course, it's still early to say anything about the meta implications those units have, but I want to mention that some of them are quite crazy. So for example, let me look at Mikhail over here. She's getting like crazy stuff. So first of all, her buff is removable, of course, and she's getting like some crazy multipliers. She pretty much caps crit 100% and is removable, so you buff someone, he's gonna quit all the time, which is crazy. And it's a lot of attack as well. She gets crit damage on top of it, and she gives this, which is attack interference immunity, which counters Laura really hard, so it might change the meta quite hard. She's one of the best units in this patch probably, and it's just crazy. And you get some extra duration for this skill over here, but because it's removable, because it's so good, and because it has attack interference immunity, she's looking crazy. And Cecilia is also pretty nice. There we go. Like, these units are getting buffed base stats, some of them at least. So Cecilia is going for like 8k HP. That's really, really high. And now these things are permanent, and she heals when she takes damage. She heals every turn as well. Her curse is also really strong, so she does some extra damage, which is kind of useless, but she's looking really, really strong as well. So what those changes actually imply, because Mikhail is really strong and has permanent buffs and counters Laura, so that's really crazy, and it's kind of complicated to deal with because units are going to be doing way more damage now with this amazing support. And on top of it, we have Barbara, which is getting like crazy high multipliers to 170% enemy HP, which can crit, and she removes barrier. So what's happening is that I think Memory decks are gonna get hurt really hard. Like, this is gonna absolutely obliterate those decks. Michaela, Barbara both counter her really hard, so I'm not sure how the deck is actually gonna hold up. I'm kind of worried about it, but we'll see how it goes. Of course, it's too early to like see how it's actually gonna go, so I'm gonna be keeping an eye on the high ranks in arena and how everything goes, and hopefully later on I'm gonna make like an update video to explain how these units are actually playing, how they're performing and everything after the meta settles a little bit more and we see how they're performing. And well, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys.